You probably know him as the most dangerous martial arts master in the world.
Still fight?
Yes, I do.
You still dangerous?
In our style, we are completely offensive. Completely aggressive. We don't. Where I came from, if you did that, somebody will come and kill you the next day.
Yeah.
They'll come to your dojo or your house and say, "It's on right now.
Yeah.
One of us is going to live, and one of us is going to die."
You've no doubt heard that he's the most gifted musical genius of our time.
Took me to a restaurant and I had to eat something fast. I ordered me some chicken, they gave me alligator ass.
But we're cool, baby, cool like a polar bear. When you see my little girlfriend, you gonna have to change your underwear.
You're obviously aware that his hair has the regenerative power of Wolverine.
That's hysterical.
But did you know the roles where he plays a CIA Black Ops specialist? Which is basically every role.
He's ex-Special Forces. The guy's a f***ing killing machine.
Checked your past. You were Special Forces.
I was in the military for a long time. I was in the Army and Special Forces.
Are based on real life events.
You're f***ing nuts!
It turns out Sensei Special Forces was a specialist for the CIA long before his hair turned into this Eddie Munster style paint job.
Hello, Australia. It's me, Steven Seagal. That's right, Steven Seagal.
When Big Daddy Seagal was 17 or 18, he left the USA and set off for Japan. He spent 15 glorious years banging geishas before returning to the US in '84, with plans to capture and rule Hollywood.
A few of my closest friends, that are pretty much high up in Hollywood had been saying, you've really got the look, and you got the charisma, and you got this, and you got that. And for years, I'd be walking into a restaurant or somewhere, and people come up to me and say, "What have I seen you in?" Or, "I enjoy your work," or "You were great in this." And I could never understand why. And I started to try to put the pieces together, and I thought, well, let's give it a try.
During that time in Japan, he was the world's most elite private security specialist.
You were a bodyguard, a security specialist a little bit. Give me what exactly would you describe a security specialist as being for someone?
I think it could be many, many things, from planning field operations to somebody who goes out into the field, carries a gun, and stands in front of people. But for me, the more interesting part was to get together with my team and do the planning of the operations, and all of the different procedures involved in creating a safe entrance and exit of a principal or whatever,
That caught the attention of the CIA, and it was at this historic moment that Seagal, Steven Seagal 007, was born.
Were you drafted by an agency or someone that wanted to take advantage of your fact that you were an American and a martial artist and someone who may have known the country?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Sensei Sniper basically hints, with a cheesy smirk on his face, that his debut film, Above the Law, is based on real-life events with his time in the CIA.
So that makes, again, this movie is all the more reason to say it's believable.
Absolutely.
You have a lot of facts in here.
I'd say it's a very believable film.
Now, I managed to find a secretive little audio nugget of Master Seagal boasting about his shady past a second time. But before I play you that little gem of Seagal's telling more lies, I'd like to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, absolutely nobody. This is a tiny channel. I don't have sponsors.
They don't give a damn about you. They don't like you. I don't like you. The girl don't like you. Nobody likes you.
But what I do have though is some t-shirts, singlets and tank tops with various Lord Seagal phrases and imagery. Guaranteed to get you laid and gives you the right to assault people as you deem necessary.
But I don't care about the law.
Please check them out, and if you feel so inclined to order and rock one, it does support the channel greatly. It will allow me to purchase better equipment and hardware, and hopefully one day travel around Australia in a motorhome making Seagal videos and fighting kangaroos in the outback.
Skippy, will you try the starter now?
If you don't want to, that's fine. You're still awesome. A like, subscribe and comment would be terrific. And if you don't want to do that, well then, I don't know what to tell you. You're a human being.
All the low mongrel acts that'd have to just about take the cake.
But I still thank you for watching, mate. Now, back to Seagal being a US Special Forces CIA operative. Here's Sensei's own words about his experiences with field operations.
You can say that I've worked with people who were in the CIA and worked for the CIA. I don't ever talk about what I've done, but a couple people have an idea. I'll talk to friends and they'll say, yeah, and then we got ambushed here, and there were this many shots fired, and I did this, and I did that, and I flanked. They remember every move, you know? Stuff. I just go on automatic pilot, and I just react to everything that's happening. And afterwards I have a fairly clear recollection, but it's not, you know, very exact.
I tracked down a couple of articles and pieces from various years regarding Seagal's mystery wet work for the CIA. The only person that has ever substantiated Seagal's claims was Gary Goldman, an ex-army veteran who was friends with Seagal. I think it would be fair to say at some point in time, Uncle Sam recruited Steven because they thought he had particular talents that would prove useful on certain assignments. I know this much. I've been out with Steven on several missions and he knows how to get things done. He has a certain high level of skill that you do not just pick up reading fantasy magazines. I don't think anyone would question his capabilities.
I definitely have some questions.
Now, this sounds fake as to me, and the reason it feels that way is because it was. A few years later, they had a falling out, and Gaz sent a letter to the LA Times retracting his statements. Basically, he was sucking Seagal's cash titty, and when Sensei Snitch inevitably screwed Gazza over, he had no reason to keep covering Seagal's sweaty ass anymore. Either way though, Gazza's words are about as credible as the news networks nowadays.
Millions of Americans staying at home are relying on Amazon.
Relying on Amazon to deliver essentials like groceries and cleaning products.
Groceries and cleaning products during the COVID-19 outbreak.
For the first time, we are getting a glimpse.
Sensei Beef Patty is passionate about America. Well, he was once upon a time anyway.
And I myself, you know, have risked my life countless times for the American flag. And Vladimir Putin.
So I guess that's it, right? Sensei Seagal patriotically risked his life for the red, white and blue many times. And that's the end of it.
Wrong. Wrong.
Well, not according to Robert Strickland, an ex-CIA agent who was friends with Seagal and the dude that Sensei stole and claimed most of his stories from. Allegedly. Basically, he's like the Joe Rogan that was Carlos Mencia'd by Steven Seagal.
Damn!
Then we've got old Herbert Saunders, a retired senior intelligence officer that Sensei Patty Cake had hired for private security work. Old Herbie also dismissed any claims from Papa Seagal that he was a former operative. On a side note, there's a whole other video that's required to cover Seagal's plot to have someone killed and framed.
What the hell did you just say?
So if you want to see a video on that, let me know in the comments and I'll get something happening. Now, before we come to our conclusion, let's check out what Skynet Terminator ChatGPT has to say about the topic.
Come with me if you want to live.
Is there any evidence or corroboration that Steven Seagal was in the CIA? There is no credible evidence or corroboration to suggest that Steven Seagal was ever employed by the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA. While Seagal has portrayed roles in movies involving government agencies and espionage, there is no public record of him working for the CIA or any other intelligence agency. It's important to note that the CIA is an intelligence agency and is known to keep its operations, personnel, and activities highly confidential. However, without any credible evidence or corroboration, any claims of Seagal being affiliated with the CIA should be considered as speculation or hearsay.
Okay, so what's the human conclusion? Well, I'm kind of human. I could pretend that it's really nuanced and complex, and not just
real f***ed up, kind of bizarre combination of monkey shit.
But it's not complex. Remember that episode of Seinfeld where Jay Peterman bought all of Kramer's life stories so he could use them in his book?
Yeah.
Well, you get where this is going. It's basically that, except Seagal stole them instead of paying for them.
He lied about everything.
Do you think Sensei Hot Dogs is telling the truth about his CIA history, or do you agree with my conclusion? Let me know in the comments.
I want to know what you think.
Thank you all again for all your kind words and support. It really does mean a lot. I've got a few videos in the works, including a review of a movie where Sensei Seagal does all of his own stunts, a compilation of his greatest interview moments, and a bunch of other random shit. In the meantime, check out any of these videos to give you your Sensei Seagal fix until the next one. Until then, stay awesome, be kind, and peace, legends.